All right, buckle up, because today we are diving into one of the wildest stories you'll ever hear. It connects a future U.S. president, a disgraced financier, and one of the most famous royals in history. We're going to get into the claims, the denials, and what it all supposedly meant.
But hey, before we get into all the crazy details, if you like getting the story straight, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. So let's set the scene. You've got a New York real estate tycoon and a super shady financier. What in the world could they possibly be competing over? Well, if you believe one biographer, the prize was royalty. Okay, Section 1, a twisted royal race. This whole thing kicks off with a really specific and frankly very strange allegation from longtime Trump biographer Michael Wolff. Here it is, the bombshell claim. Wolff alleges that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had an actual, literal competition over who would be the first one to sleep with Princess Diana. I mean, it's a shocking allegation, and it's the foundation for this entire bizarre story.
So, why? What was the point? Well, according to Wolff, it was just pure, unadulterated status. He claims their whole mindset was, what can you get from somebody? And Princess Diana, well, she was seen as the absolute ultimate prize in their social climbing game. All right, let's move on to Section 2, Flowers and the Creeps. So, after Diana's divorce in 1996, the story goes that Trump decided to make his own personal move.
Journalist Selena Scott, who actually knew Diana, wrote that Trump viewed the princess as the ultimate trophy wife. He reportedly thought he had a real shot with her.
So what did he do? Sources claim he launched what they called a bombardment of flowers, sending these enormous bouquets right to her home at Kensington Palace.
Now, you might be thinking, a princess must be used to grand gestures like that, right? But Diana's reaction? Well, it probably wasn't what Trump was hoping for.
The same journalist, Selena Scott, said that while Diana was always polite about the gifts in public, she privately told a friend exactly how she felt. About Donald Trump, she allegedly said, "He gives me the creeps." Oof.
Okay, Section 3, Trump's own words. So far, this is all coming from other people. But let's look at what Trump himself said about the princess, on the record, years ago. The setting is the Howard Stern show, back in 1997. This was shortly after Diana's tragic death, and Stern brought her up directly with Trump.
And, being Howard Stern, he didn't beat around the bush. He put the question to Trump point blank.
And Trump's response was just as direct.
And it didn't stop there. He went back on Stern's show in 2000, and the topic came up again, this time with even more explicit comments. In that interview, he called her crazy, but then quickly followed up by calling that minor details and said he would have slept with her without hesitation. All right, let's jump forward in time. Section 4, the blistering denial. Years later, when Michael Wolff's book with the competition story was published, Trump's camp fired back with an official and very, very forceful response.
Yeah, the denial from his White House communications director was one of the most aggressive you'll ever read. He didn't just deny the story, he went straight after Michael Wolff's credibility.
And the statement went even further, saying Wolff makes up stories because his peanut-sized brain has been rotted by Trump derangement syndrome. So, yeah, it was a pretty vigorous denial to say the least.
So, Section 5, Grifter Buddies? For Michael Wolff, this whole alleged competition wasn't just some weird, creepy anecdote. He argued it was a window into the entire dynamic between Trump and Epstein.
Wolff's whole theory is that these two operated as grifter buddies, a couple of outsiders who, he says, worked together as a duo to get exactly what they wanted from the establishment.
And according to Wolff, their shared playbook was dead simple, totally focused on 3 goals for both of them: get money, get women, and relentlessly climb the social ladder. That's it.
So what do we make of all this? Is this story just a bizarre, disturbing footnote in history? Or does it actually give us a pretty big clue into the methods, the motivations, and the world these guys were operating in?
That's the real question, and we want to hear from you. What do you make of all this? Is there any truth to it? Drop your theory down in the comments. Let's talk about it. And that's all for this Explainer. If you found this story fascinating, please smash that like button and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next deep dive. We'll see you then.